What's up everyone, it's Quest, and today we're actually going to be doing a trick shot tutorial just because a lot of y'all that I see on TikTok or really anywhere in game, even some of my friends that I've met over the years of playing Call of Duty, they would like to know how to trick shot. They don't really know how. A lot of these TikTok people I'm sure you've seen, they don't really know how. So today we're going to go into the basics of what a trick shot really is. So first, we got to understand, what is a trick shot? Well, to understand what a trick shot is, we have to go in the past, back to 2010, 2011, right when FaZe was made, and trick shots became a thing. I have been trick shotting since 2011. Right now it's obviously 2021, so that's 10 years. But to go back, we're going to look at a couple of the FaZe videos from back then in 2010 to 2011, like Ilcams 1 through 5. That was their trick shot montages back then. And I know FaZe is like a poor example to get an understanding nowadays of what trick shotting has become. But to understand where it came from, we definitely do have to go back in the past and realize how far we've come in a general sense. So in Ilcams 1 through 5, you will see there's a lot of no scopes, there's a lot of 360 no scopes, a couple of throwing knife kills, nothing too extreme, nothing mind-boggling, nothing crazy, right? Now, a lot of you TikTokers, and there's a couple, but I won't name no names. There's a lot that have just gotten famous or big out of just doing 360 emotes. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the other trick shotters in the community, including myself, do not really think that's fair, because it's literally just a 360. It's literally just an emote. It's 2 buttons. That's all it is. It ain't hard. It's not complex. It's super simple. And anybody with opposable thumbs can do that. That's literally anyone. So that's why we had to release this video today. We're going to learn what a trick shot really is and what it means to trick shot. Now, you're going on in the middle of this video, you're asking, well then, if the TikTokers aren't doing real trick shots, what is a trick shot? Okay, so a trick shot is not a 360. It is not a no scope. It is not an emote. A trick shot is in the name. It's literally trick shot. So like you have to do a combo for it to be a trick shot. You have to do more than a 360 for it to be a trick shot. 360s are not usable. They're not usable in the community. They're not usable for any clans. They're just not usable. So if you're someone that's trying to become a trick shotter and you're seeing these people that are doing 360 emotes on TikTok, don't do it. Don't do it. Do it the real way. Do a real actual trick shot. And that's what we're doing today. We're going to learn the actual basics of what a trick shot is, what to set up for trick shots, what kind of classes to use. We're going to make multiple parts of this so you are all prepared to get the whole details in depth, because I haven't really seen anyone in this year for this Call of Duty make a trick shot tutorial very in depth. I remember back in MW2, I think there was some guy by the name of like Trickshot Tutorials or something like that. He had like 20 episodes, like completely in depth of all these different trick shots, all these different tips, tricks. Like he went in depth. So basically that's exactly what we're doing today. We're just doing it on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Now, the best way to actually get used to trick shotting is to go in private match and practice. It does take a lot of practice. It doesn't really matter if you're a keyboard or mouse player or even a controller player. Anyone can trick shot. For me, I use keyboard and mouse. I used to trick shot on controller for many years. I got a PC and it's been great ever since. And because I got a PC, I wanted to learn how to trick shot on mouse and keyboard. There's not many people that do, so it kind of makes me stand out from the crowd, because I know that's a very small amount of people that actually trick shot with keyboard and mouse, not 360 emote. So I'm going to be teaching you guys how to trick shot on mouse and keyboard, and how to trick shot on controller. Doesn't really matter what system you play, doesn't matter like really anything else. That's all you need. So for example, we're going to go through a couple of the classes that you're going to be practicing with, just to get the hang of trick shotting and what it really is. So right now we're in custom games. Okay, and we're gonna make a little loadout. As you can see, I already have a whole bunch of loadouts here, so there's not really a way that I can clear this out. I've already looked, so we're just gonna go through it in depth. So for trick shotting, best kind of snipers to have is the HDR or the AX50. Now it does not matter if you use the Dragunov, if you use the Rytech, if you use any of these carbines. So my favorite is the AX50, just because the damage is a lot. Obviously you got the HDR, which does give a little bit more, but the AX50 just seems really clean. So we're gonna go with the AX50. Let me take off all these attachments so I can go in depth with them. Okay, so no attachments. This is a stock AX50. Now you could go out there and use a stock AX50, doesn't really matter. But if you're going to be going online and trying to get the last and trying to clear out, of course if you're playing search or cyber, then you're going to want a sniper that obviously zooms in quick enough for you to shoot the enemy before they sweat you out. Because, like any game, there are a lot of sweats on this game, a lot of marksmans and mini marksmans alike. So you have to have something that's going to be up to competition to at least get the last, so you're not backing out all the time. So first thing I change is the stock. Best one to have is the Syngard Arms Assassin. As you can see, it gives you aim down sight, and aiming stability is taken off. So aiming stability is not too important, especially for trick shotting or anything like that. It just means that when you're hard scoping or when you're sniping, it just means that your gun's gonna sway a whole lot. It's gonna do this swinging motion, this little figure 8, and that's okay. We're not gonna be too worried about that. It doesn't affect it a whole lot. The next thing we're gonna put on is a tac laser. As you can see, gives you more aim down sight. The only downside of this is laser is visible to enemies, so if you're playing hardcore, they will see the tac laser. But like I said, you will be zooming in quicker, so that's a must too. The next one I'd say is rear grip. You're going to change to stippled grip tape. Again, we're increasing the aim down sight speed. We're just trying to make the sniper as fast as possible. Not totally important for the trick shotting aspect, just more important especially if you're going to be getting the last. So stippled grip tape, my bad. As you can see, it does decrease the aiming stability. Again, not too much, not important really, so we're going to throw that on there. And the best perk to have, now this is totally up to you guys, but I run it with FMJ, because if an enemy is behind a wall, and whether you do or you don't know that they're there, if you have FMJ, you're less likely to get a hit marker on that wall. You're more likely to kill them through the building than you would get a hit marker. So FMJ is really the best perk in my opinion to run when you're trick shotting. So as you can see, we have 4 out of the 5 slots. You don't change anything for muzzle. I usually always leave the barrel alone. Now that, again, that's up to you. You can always throw on the longest barrel. It doesn't really decrease your aim down sight speed by a whole lot. So we can stick to that. We can do no barrel or the longest barrel. It doesn't really matter. Ammunition, again, doesn't really matter. On the barrel, now some people have their own thoughts about this. Some people think that if you put a bipod on, that your no scopes go straighter, especially when you're trick shotting. I have not found this to be true. I haven't had any experience with this. If you guys have, I would like to hear your input in the comments. of what your thoughts are on bipod for snipers when you're trick shotting. So I don't really throw bipod on. I usually stick with 4 out of 5 and I call it good. Obviously camo does not matter, and we can keep it nice and simple, and we can use just a basic single pistol. Doesn't really matter. This way you'll learn how to do pistol swaps. There's a lot of cool things that you can actually do other than 360 emotes, and you'll come to learn that in this channel as I release this content week after week. Now, okay, that's one class. Your best perks to have if you're going to be running search or cyber. I mean, EOD is pretty good, but I would not say it's the best since there's a lot of sweats in lobbies. I think the best perk to run is going to be cold-blooded. That way you're not getting killed by Harriers, you're not getting spotted on UAVs. It's going to save you in the long run, especially if it's towards one of the last rounds and they call one of those kill streaks. You don't want to deal with those kill streaks trying to kill you and stay indoors. Or if it's last and they call one of those kill streaks in, again, you don't want to have to stay indoors to hit your trick shot, because there's not a lot of places that you can actually do that. So we're going to change perk 1 to cold-blooded. Perk 2, now again, this is totally up to you. A lot of people run overkill so they can have a submachine gun, an assault rifle, an LMG, anything for their secondary to do something fancy with their trick shot, but again, not totally important. I know some people run high alert. Again, it's all up to you. Personally, I run restock just to recharge my equipment. Sometimes I'll accidentally throw a throwing knife and it'll go on into Narnia, or I'll stun the enemy and then, you know, after 5 seconds he's unstunned. So what restock is going to allow you to do is when it's last, you're going to be able to stun him and go for a shot, get back up to trick shot place, and it'll probably be charged by that time, and then you can stun him again, whoever's last. So I run restock. And then third perk, this one is going to be a little important. This just depends on what kind of shots you're trying to do. Again, we will go in depth with those later, but your best perk to run is going to be amped. This allows you to swap guns faster. This allows you to cancel equipment faster. And obviously you get to reload your rocket launcher faster if you're running a rocket launcher. Now, is that important? Not too much. But you will learn that swapping the weapon is going to be pretty important when you're trick shotting. So we'll leave it at amped. Lethal, again, totally up to you as you run throwing knives. And tactical, again, totally up to you. Depends on what kind of trick shot you're trying to do. But if you're just trying to go for something basic, the best tacticals to run is stun grenade, or I found gas grenades to be highly effective, as stuns are not as effective as they were in Modern Warfare 2. And I'm pretty sure anybody in here will agree with me on that gas grenades are more effective and resemble a lot of the stun grenades in MW2. It totally immobilizes the enemy. They can't move. They literally cannot aim down sight. They're coughing. They're wheezing. It's the best. So, you know, it's totally up to you. I do like stuns because I don't like running into my own gas. That's just me. So there's that. So that's basically how you set up a trickshot class. This is just the most basic trickshot class. But we will be going in depth about what classes do what kind of stuff you can do with all these different secondaries, whether it be submachine gun, light machine gun, another sniper as your secondary, marksman rifle, you know, knife, riot shield, doesn't really matter. You could do all sorts of things with any gun, really. And I don't think there's a lot of people that know that. And that is why I'm here to release tutorials for y'all, so y'all can be a little more fancier with your trick shots than doing 360 emotes and calling those trick shots. If you guys had any questions, concerns, or wanted to give some tips or feedbacks, you can drop it in the comments below. I would like to hear what everyone likes to say. And you know, please leave a like on the video, subscribe, share with your friends that also do 360 emotes. Get that out of the picture. We need to cut out all the 360 emotes just because they're not trick shots. If you want to do them, that's cool. That's fine. Just don't go out calling them trick shots because that is not what they are. It's been real, guys. Until the next time, next week, I'll be releasing another tutorial. I'll be going a little more in depth on how to do trick shots, what a trick shot is in person, how to do them on mouse and keyboard and on controller. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thanks so much. You have a wonderful rest of your day.